In this week's Pluribus, Carol is living the good life, and Manousos is, well, not. Welcome back to Movies Good, Internet Bad. I'm Corey, that's Shane, and this is going to be our spoiler filled review of episode 7 of Pluribus entitled The Gap. Hello, Shane.
Hello, Corey. This is a recording. At the tone, you can leave a message to request anything you might need.
Is it the space? You still need the space
I think I need the space.
after
I'm
everything that's
sorry.
happened?
After everything that's happened, I think I need it.
All right, that's fair. Well, spoilers ahoy for this. We're going to do a quick recap, talk about a couple things, make some predictions, and then I have a few rants that I'd like to go on at the end of this episode. So go ahead and tap that subscribe button like you're dialing zero for help, and let's dive right into this thing. So, Shane, this episode was really broken up into three big chunks. So we had Carol 12 days after the incident. She is using the system to get whatever she wants, whether that be a fruit punch flavored Gatorade, days on the golf course.
It
She
wasn't ice cold, though.
it wasn't ice cold, and she didn't ask for it lukewarm, so maybe they'll do better next time. She had the option for a Porsche, a Mercedes, a Corvette Z06, and she ended up taking the Rolls Royce that has the little fun hood ornament that pops in and
Mm-hmm.
out every time you start the car up. She went out for a fancy dinner full of anniversary meals, lit off some fireworks, and sings a lot of songs about being fine. But we know deep down that she is not quite fine. At the same point in the timeline, during that 12 days after the initial incident, Manousos, the mysterious man from Paraguay, starts his journey from the Shire to Mordor with some incredible cinematography and absolutely zero help from the Joined. They try to help a bunch, and he rejects them at every corner, and they warn him of the perils to come, which include snakes and spiders and trees that have spikes on them, and
Corey, did
eventually
you say the carols to come? Sorry.
the perils to come. Not well,
Oh, sorry.
the carols to come would, maybe they are. Who knows? We'll get there. But Manousos does his best Inigo Montoya impersonation, and then unfortunately takes a nasty spill onto said spiked plant, which contains some bacteria that could be fatal. He is saved by a mysterious helicopter, and that is the last we see of him. We get a fun little fade to white, which is always interesting. Kind of implies death, right? And then we get a 36-day time jump. We go to 48 days after the incident with Carol. We have more golf, but this time it's on the top of a parking deck, and she is hitting golf balls to break windows because, when you're in the apocalypse, the world is your playground. There are also more fireworks this time, except one of them points directly at Carol, and she doesn't really do a whole heck of a lot
Mm-hmm.
about it. She kind of just lets it fly past her, and if it hits her, it hits her. But thankfully for the sake of us watching this show,
The
it didn't,
plot
because
armor saved her.
it'd be one of those things where it just like hits the credits and then the
The
show's over
end of
because
the
yeah.
show.
um, but yeah, she doesn't really seem to care, and this prompts a trip to the hardware store for some very bright white paint, a message to the joined, and a heartfelt reunion with Zoja. Shane, what did you think of this episode, man? I thought it was an absolute banger. I thought it was one of the best ones they've done so far.
It's one of those things where not a lot happens, yet everything happens at the same time.
Yep.
Like there's so much character journey here for both of them,
Hmm.
and eventually they kind of parallel each other, right? Like
Hmm.
all of the peril that happens to them, eventually they have to succumb to needing the join to
Yep.
survive.
Hmm.
And I thought it was just a great parallel between the two characters.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the talking points that I wanted to get your thoughts on here is uh, Carol and Manousos are, they're very similar, right?
Hmm.
Because they want to, as Manousos says, save the world, and Carol
Hmm.
says she wants to make things right, make them go back to the way they used to be or whatever. So they have similar goals. They're both not really nice to the
No.
joined in any way, shape, or form, but they're very different in a couple interesting ways. And I found it really interesting in the second episode of this show. Carol asks the joined to put a little get together where we meet some of the characters for the first time. But she says, no, I only want the English speaking ones because she doesn't want to
Hmm.
have to deal with translation. She doesn't want to have to learn another language, anything like that. Manousos, when he's driving in the car, is teaching himself how to speak English,
Yep.
knowing that going into the situation he's going to have to do
Hmm.
that, right? And then Carol and Manousos, when it comes to whether or not they actually use the joined to their own personal benefit, Carol doesn't care at all. She calls them for the tiniest of tasks, whereas Manousos won't let them do anything. And
Correct. And he
it's
also leaves the little $100 bills or whatever currency he's leaving that in
for no one.
on all of the cars. Right. Exactly. They don't need it, but he's just doing it as a gesture of good faith.
Right. So he's giving away money while she's driving away in a $200,000 Rolls Royce just because her cop car wouldn't start anymore.
Yep.
So, uh,
There's so many things where their journeys parallel, but their characters are so different.
right. Yep. And I think the more and more as we go through, man, the more I feel like Carol is just kind of the worst.
Oh, she's horrible. She
Yeah.
she is she is absolutely the worst. She is coping in a very bad way. I mean, it's there's no like her singing all the songs about how she's fine and great is like typical like you don't have to sing songs about how fine you are if you're actually fine kind of
Yep.
thing. It's it very much her breaking down over time. And then we see in the end of the episode that she finally all that bottled up emotion eventually comes out when she sees Zosha again.
Yeah. And knockout scene when that
Yeah.
happens. And
Hmm.
you're getting to see a whole lot of different sides of Ray Seahorn as an actor here. The she's mean, she's funny,
Hmm.
she's kind of cringy, and then there she breaks down, and the
Yeah.
drama part of it really comes out. Um, I thought that was all really fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I thought the reveal of what she put on the um what's the word I'm looking for? The turnaround
The cul-de-sac.
cul-de-sac. Thank you.
Yes.
Could that not come to me? But the reveal of what she wrote on the cul-de-sac with the paint
Hmm.
was great. Like you knew whenever it didn't show initially, I was like, oh, that's the final shot of the episode is going to be what
Yep.
she wrote on there.
Yeah. They did a wide shot when she was doing that, and the light post on the right hand side, the one drone was still hanging from it
Oh,
for
was it? I
when
missed
they
that. Yeah,
dropped the trash bag. It gave me
it's
a
a
good
good
chuckle.
little recurring joke.
Yeah, there's a lot of those in this
Hmm.
show, primarily being the voicemail that she gets every time she calls them now, which we
Yes,
still have to listen to the entire thing
which
every
is
single
fantastic.
time.
Yes,
Uh,
the comedic time of that is great.
yeah, it's awesome. So how about budget, production value, cinematography for this one?
It's amazing to me that so much seemingly was spent on an episode where not a lot of actual plot happens. This is all character journey type stuff. And yet we're going through canyons, we're in the rainforest, all of that. It's just like a very expensive looking episode for what a lot of, I would say, like I don't want to use the term normal people, but like an average viewer of a TV show would see this as kind of a filler
Mhm.
episode. And so they spent so much budget on it because it is so impactful from a character perspective.
Yep.
Like we're finally getting a real introduction to Manousos.
Right.
We kind of got that, but like we really see a lot more of how he operates as a character throughout this entire episode, and I think that that's crucial because it's really his introduction. We had to pause the narrative a little bit to show how Manousos
Hmm.
interacts with the world, because then going forward, we've spent all of this time with this character, and now we're invested, right?
Hmm.
A lot of other TV shows would not have spent this much time. They wouldn't have devoted an entire episode to showing his journey. He would have just shown up, and then we wouldn't have cared much about him
Right.
because we knew a little bit about him and he's maybe relevant for the plot. But now we actually kind of care, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
see him in peril. We see exactly
Exactly.
how he cares about people, like everything. And so we're invested in him as a character now. And they spent the 30-ish minutes of this episode
Hmm.
doing that.
Yeah, and that's another thing with Vince Gilligan where he trusts his audience to leave the main character on the sideline for 30 minutes in,
Yep.
you know, 1 out of 9 episodes. It's not a terribly long season.
Yeah.
But everything you're talking about reminds me, you sent me a link in our text messages the other day where Ryan Coogler was talking about writing for TV as compared to writing for movies. And he said that how they see movies is you're looking at the most important moment in a character's life, and with TV you're looking at the most important journey in a character's life.
Yeah.
And that is a really important distinction, because Pluribus is very much not a 6 hour movie, right?
Yeah.
It's not a blockbuster that's just being stretched out to 9 or 10 episodes. This is something that is very deliberately paced, and it's made to put you in the lives of these characters, not just one small snippet of
Yeah.
those lives, which is
Yeah,
really
and I think it kind of works. It kind of reminds me of another show that I love, and I think you've maybe finished it at this point, the Leftovers,
oh
right?
yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah,
much of the impact of the show is the journey, not necessarily what happened or what the plot was, but like how people would deal with this situation. And we can see everyone deals with it in a little bit different way. You
hmm
know, Carol versus Manousos versus the French guy who's Diabate,
yeah,
who's playing it up, right?
sure, yeah,
Everyone kind of handles it a little bit differently. And I think that's the impact, right? Is like if
yeah,
something this crazy happened, what would you even do? And
yeah,
this is a great episode too, because in the first however many episodes of the show, the join people are around,
hmm
and now she's kind of left alone, and she's going mad because like,
yeah.
what do you even do with no people around?
Yep.
And
It made
it's
me think
that,
of like early COVID, right? When you
yeah,
couldn't really see people, but at least we had the capability to like talk to other people. She
yeah,
doesn't even have that. She's
right.
completely by herself.
Correct. And you can see in the end what impact that has on her at the end. And
hmm
I do kind of wonder if COVID inspired this to a small extent.
Could be.
The
Yeah.
separation between people, and eventually you get to come back together, and how big of an impact it is just to see somebody in person again.
Yep. Yeah. It's pretty wild stuff, man. How about all those shots when he was driving through South America?
Incredible stuff. The drone shots, and man, but I mean, I was impressed by small stuff too, like the shot of her golfing, and like there's a shot of the window, and the golf ball comes
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
her through the window, like at the camera, which is
hmm
clearly CG, but they had to still break the glass and all that stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, all of that stuff. And I said this in the last episode, but there's so much energy to the way that this show is shot, and it's
hmm
just, it's almost like watching, it's interesting just in the way it's presented. And another show might present the exact same material but not with the visual flair, and you might lose a little bit of interest.
I was going to save this for the end, but this is where we're going to pause and take a time out for my first of two rants
Okay.
for this show. Color grading and lighting. Why on earth does this show know what it's doing when it comes to color grading and lighting, and almost every other show on a streaming service just doesn't have it figured out? I come to you,
Hmm.
Shane, as somebody who is desperate for knowledge and cannot understand for the life of me how it's just, why is it so hard to just use a little bit of reflector light to illuminate someone's face, even if you're going to backlight the shot, which there's plenty of backlighting shots
Yeah.
in this show. What is going on in the rest of the world that this show is showing everyone else's ass to the public?
Yeah, I think the main thing is just effort. It's very easy to not light, especially with today's camera technology. It's very easy to just be like, wow, I can shoot at ISO 12,800 and pick
Yeah.
up everything, and I don't need to care about it. I can backlight it, and I can crank up the ISO and everything. You can see it. It may not look great, but you can see it. And it's much easier than setting up like a 3-point lighting system and have to worry about all that stuff. But yeah, it is unfortunate because this show is in all the desert scenes. Like the sky is very vivid, and like it looks colorful, and like you have color contrast,
Mhm.
and everything is working correctly in that regard. And I think other shows just like dim the hell out of it, and everything's gray. And
Yeah.
it's, I mean, like
It
Wicked
it's
is the same. It's not just a show thing. Like this is a
yeah.
modern Hollywood pipeline now that everything
Yeah,
just looks
yes.
dim and desaturated.
And I feel like a lot of that is because of like the overuse of CG and green screen and stuff. They shoot
Sure.
things so flat so that
Yeah,
way
you
when they
light
go
it
in,
later.
they light it later because of whatever effects they're adding. And
Right.
with a show like this, you don't really have that.
Hmm.
Just go to a really beautiful place, shoot it at the right time,
Yeah.
and you don't really have much post production work to do it all. But
And you know, honestly, you don't even have to really shoot it at the right time. Like he's shooting in the middle of the day and it
true,
looks
true,
just
true.
fine. Like he's not even going for golden hour or anything, which works in that context because like it's very oppressive and it's meant to be kind of dreary in a desert way, right?
Yeah. And he's not going on his journey only at sunrise and sunset. He's driving the car
Right.
all
Right.
day long. So
Yeah.
it's accurate. But the other thing too is the grayscale part of it, right? So when you're talking about color theory and you're talking about grayscale, black is supposed to be 0%. That's pure black. And then
Yeah.
white is supposed to be 100%, which is
Yeah.
pure white. And in today's day and age, for some strange reason that I really can't figure out, black is now 10% gray
Hmm.
and white is now 90% gray. So we've
Yeah.
taken 20% of our black to white spectrum and we've smushed it down and made it narrower. And a lot of shows abide by that. And it's why we get these things that people they all call it slop now. Oh, it looks like slop. It's muddy. It's gray all the time.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. There's no contrast anymore because pure white and pure black just don't exist for some reason.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, though, because I do think like raised black levels is a relatively common thing in photography and videography.
Mhm.
However, the lack of contrast in between those values is bad too, where it's like you raise the blacks, you lower the whites, but then in the middle, you also don't have any punchiness.
Nothing.
And like everything just looks kind of like it mushes together.
Yeah. It's almost like they're editing based on a histogram and not based on what their eyeballs see and what's attractive and pleasing to the eye.
Yeah, it's weird because everyone shoots in log nowadays, and I wonder if
Mhm.
that's contributing to it too, where they sort of like they don't want to go too far
Okay.
because log, if you shoot like if you just look at raw log footage,
It
it
looks
looks
terrible.
completely washed out
Yeah.
and there's nothing there,
Yep.
which is the point of it is you get more information from it, but it's almost like they start from zero and build up and they don't build all the way.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's tough, man, but watching this show, it's a joy. Yeah, I
Oh,
tune in and
absolutely.
I know that I'm going to get something that is visually striking, that's well lit, well graded, well edited, and it's awesome. And for the three of you that are still here after the very nerdy conversation we just had, Shane, we have 2 episodes left in
Yes.
Pluribus for this season. I was wrong last week when I said
I
8.
was also wrong.
There are apparently 9 episodes, and the last one comes out on Christmas Day, which is a real hoot. We're gonna have to figure that
Yeah.
shit out.
Yeah, we will.
But what do you think is gonna happen? So first, what do you think is gonna happen to Manousos with this helicopter?
I mean, he's got to clearly survive because he's got to see Carol. But I think the goal there was more just to show that they still rely on the join, even if they don't want to. Like
Okay.
it's like they've gotten to a breaking point where they need to rely on the join. However, I was wrong that Zosha would wake up in the final shot of the season
Oh
and she
yeah,
would be
yeah.
unjoined. Although maybe that could still happen. Maybe they go
Good.
on a little journey to unjoin her. My other prediction midway through this episode was that he would meet people like in the rainforest that were not a part of the join or something like that. And you find out that like they need some sort of communication to still be a part of the join. But this is interesting because this episode didn't really tell us a lot of what's coming next.
Mm-mm.
It just set up the character journeys and kind of broke the characters down to their absolute lowest.
Mhm.
And then we've got 2 episodes for them to springboard back into action.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a lot of plot guessing. So, I mean, my guess is I mean, pretty clearly, this isn't like a hot take prediction or anything, but I feel like Manousos and Carol are going to join up and they will discover something, maybe his radio thing, the radio signal that
Mhm.
he recognized.
Yeah.
They'll come up with something. I think it's going to be some sort of like his radio signals, her like fantasy novel thing is going to be like a parallel, something like that,
Okay.
and they're going to use that information together to figure out like, oh, I think I know how to fix this.
I have a feeling that Zoja is going to help them,
Hmm.
and I think that the romance angle is pretty clear and laid out there. Um, at the end of the episode, Zoja has that like heroic moment where
Hmm.
one love interest pulls up after a fight, and the other one stares them down from the driveway, and then they
Yeah,
have
and it
their
says
embrace.
just married on the
Yeah,
car.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, there's too many things that are kind of pointing towards that.
I do
Um,
have one minor quibble about it. When she gets that car, the helium in those balloons would have been gone 12 days later, right? Like, there's no way they're still floating. That's my
nerd,
minor quibble. The other
nerd.
quibble, which I should have mentioned last week, and a commenter said it, I still, the music is not hitting for me. I said this in the first
Man,
episode,
so
but
I was
like, it
I
feels
was
very
listening
generic Hollywood.
I was listening to the music in this episode because of that comment.
Hmm.
And during the montage when he's driving through South America, I was jamming. I was like
Okay.
bopping my head and shit. Like the orchestral stuff is maybe a little bit cheesy,
It's
and
very forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I don't know if it's on purpose or not. That's the
Yeah,
thing I
that's
can't, like.
fair.
Are they trying to make it cringy because they're basically saying, "Look, guys, this is a goofy sci-fi show." Like,
Sure. Could
I
be.
don't know, because the music for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is fantastic, and
Right.
this
And
is
it's
the
the same
same
composer.
composer. Yeah,
Right.
so I don't know.
Not sure.
So before we take things home, I have one other very quick rant. I have seen a lot of discussion online, Shane, that people have said that this show is too slow and is thus boring. And I would like to tell those people
To
that they
fuck
suck.
off.
In the spirit of this channel being named Movies Good, Internet Bad, those people on the internet should really just pay attention and watch more stuff. And if they don't want to, they
Yeah.
can go watch like Ant-Man 3 and have a great fucking time and go on from there.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
this is the thing. Had this show come out 15 years ago, no one would call it slow because that's how
Yeah.
TV always operated.
Yep.
And once we turned TV into these like mini movies that had to be action all the time, everyone kind of thought they kind of lost the art of TV. And it's like, oh, this is just another movie, just extended.
Yep.
But this is how TV is operated. There, you get episodes like this that are 45 minutes of just little character journeys where they're setting up the
Yep.
plot for the later episodes. Watch any major TV show from 10, 15. Watch Lost, watch The Leftovers,
Mhm.
watch any critically acclaimed TV show, and they will operate almost exactly like this.
Yep. I even saw the Pit season 2. The entire season takes place over one 15-hour shift at a hospital.
Yeah,
And you
that's how
know that
season one worked.
that season's going to be like 10 episodes or something.
Yeah.
People are going to go crazy about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
each
too slow.
one
It
there's
takes
like
too
a
long.
crazy, like, somebody like the first season there was like a shooting at a festival and stuff. It was a whole thing. So like there's always some major blockbuster event in each of those episodes, even if it is one 15-hour shift. It's
Well,
like
sure,
Grey's
but
Anatomy, where it's
it's
like, oh my God, there's a plane crash. Oh my God, there's a shooter in the village. It's just like, what more could go wrong in this hospital?
the one hospital where
The
every major
cursed
incident.
hospital of Seattle Grace.
But my point there is that it's a TV show. It's
Yeah.
not a movie. It doesn't have to rush to get
Yep.
to Z. It can spend
Yep.
time A, B, C, D, E, F, and on. And
Yeah. The
that's
entire point of TV shows is character development. That is the
that's
benefit that you get out of them.
the benefit and the beauty. So,
Yeah.
any other thoughts on this episode, Shane? Before we take it home.
No, I think it was a good bridge episode into the final two of the season.
Awesome. I agree. So that is going to do it for this episode. Hopefully, you stuck around to hear all my rants, and we would love to hear from you. We had a bunch of great comments on last week's video. We'd love to have that happen again. So drop us your thoughts below. Let us know what you thought about this episode, what your predictions are for the final two, and we'll make sure to answer every single one that comes in. Quick programming note. Next week's video might be a smidge late because Shane and I are both seeing Avatar on Thursday night, and we're also going to be doing a review on that. Very, very excited to Big Jim, man. Big Jim is the one thing that
He's
could bump
back, man.
Pluribus, man. Going back to Pandora and hanging out with the Sully family. So next week we will have a review up for episode 8 of Pluribus, as well as the review of Fire and Ash. So please be on the lookout for all of that and so much more. And until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.